A young soldier was in his bunk room, all alone one Sunday morning over in Afghanistan. The sound of the fighting and the shelling had calmed down. It was quiet. And as he was laying on his bunk, he got out an old deck of cards and began to spread them out in front of him. Just then, an army sergeant came in and he said, "Soldier, why are you not with the rest of the platoon?" "Well, sir, I thought I'd just spend some time with the Lord," he said. "Spend some time with the Lord? It looks like you're going to play cards, soldier," said the sergeant. "Well, no, I'm not actually, sir. You know that we are not allowed Bibles or other religious books in this country. So I've decided to talk to the Lord by studying this deck of cards." The sergeant said, "Well, how are you going to do that?" "Well, you see, sir," said the soldier as he held up an ace. "The ace reminds me that there is one and only God." Number 2 represents the two parts of the Bible, the Old Testament before Jesus and the New Testament from Jesus' birth through his life, his death, his resurrection and the start of the church. The 3 reminds me of the Father, Son and the Holy Spirit. God 3 in 1. And number 4 reminds me that there are 4 Gospels telling about Jesus' life: Matthew, Mark, Luke and John. The 5 reminds me of one of Jesus' stories about the 10 virgins, 5 who were prepared with their lamps ready and 5 who weren't. And then I can also think about other stories that Jesus told. Number 6 reminds me of how God created the world in 6 days. And on the 7th, he rested, which is why we have a day off in the week. 8 reminds me of the family of Noah. There was Noah, his wife, his 3 sons and their wives, who stayed on the ark and were saved from the flood that destroyed the earth for the first time. Number 9 reminds me of the 10 lepers that Jesus healed. 9 didn't bother to come back and say thank you, but only 1 did. And the 10 reminds me of the 10 commandments that God gave to Moses on the tablets of stone up in Mount Sinai. The jack reminds me of Satan, one of God's first angels, but he got kicked out of heaven for his sly and wicked ways, and he is now the joker of hell. The Queen stands for the Virgin Mary, who gave birth to Jesus on that very first Christmas day. And the King stands for Jesus, the King of all kings and the Lord of all lords. When I count the dots on a pack of cards, I get a total of 365, 1 for every day of the year. There are a total of 52 cards in a pack. And there are 52 weeks in a year. There are 4 suits, clubs, diamonds, spades, diamonds, clubs and hearts. Remind me, there are 4 seasons: autumn, spring, summer and winter. Each suit has 13 cards. There are exactly 13 weeks in a quarter. So when I want to talk to God and say thank you to him, I pull out this old deck of cards and they remind me of all that I have to be thankful for. The sergeant just stood there for a minute and with tears in his eyes he said, "Soldier, Can I borrow that deck of cards? Well, I hope you like that little story. And next time we have a game of cards, we can think of some of those things that the soldier said to his sergeant.